work on these so long that you get bored. But there's plenty of things to work on with even a simple scale, a simple sequence. So don't just play the notes either. Always look for the music that's in the notes. Okay, so we've done our tone studies. We've done our technical exercises. Now we get to work on the repertoire, which is the fun part. It's kind of the icing on the cake. So we spent, about 4 minutes on tone, 4 minutes on technique. One little exercise in tone, one little exercise in technique. And now we're on to our repertoire. I say spend about 7 minutes a day of really focused practice on your repertoire if you're going to have a 15-minute practice session. And I recommend splitting that time between etudes and solo pieces or pieces that you have to do in band class. Etudes are really wonderful because etudes are little studies. Etude is study in French. And it allows us to work on a very, very focused thing, a very focused something about playing the flute over and over and over again in a short period of time. When I'm working with a student, I like to try and pair whatever etude they're working on to whatever is giving them those problems in their repertoire or something to set them up to really succeed on the next piece that they're going to play. So it might be we're playing this etude because it's in the same key as the band piece that they've been having a problem with. So, we're going to play this band piece that's an E flat. I'm going to make sure that they're working on an E flat major etude this week. Or we're doing something with a lot of staccato in it. So I'm going to find an etude that's working on staccato. So they don't spend all of their time working on their piece and going, gosh, I just can't get the staccato in this piece. And then they don't end up liking the piece that they still have to work on for another 3 weeks because contest isn't here yet. So they're not tired of the piece because they're frustrated by this one little element. They get to be frustrated about the one little element in the etude, but then we're done with the etude in a week. One of the benefits to etudes. We'll look at one from the 76 graded studies for flute by Paul Harris and Sally Adams. And they start out very, very simply. So do I have any volunteers to come and play an etude? All right, so I'm going to have you read etude number 1. Okay. So what's the key for etude number 1?
C major.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And what's the time signature?
4/4.
Yep. So C major 4/4, pretty basic, and the whole etude is in half notes, right? Mm-hmm. So what could this etude be working on?
Not sure.
One thing that I would look at when I saw something like that is, this is an etude where we can really focus on tone. Mm-hmm. It's all in half notes, so we're going to play long notes. So you have the time to listen to your sound and how that's sound in the middle register too, because it only goes above the staff once. So we get to listen to your sound. And what dynamic are we doing it at?
A forte.
Yep. So your forte sound, we're listening for your strong sound on long tones. So take a minute and look through it, and then when you're ready, you can go ahead and play it. Okay. All right. Very good. Beautiful sound. Good sight reading. Yeah. Okay. So, when you were playing that, were you listening to your sound? And I'd like you to give me 2 things you liked about your sound and 1 thing you'd like to change.
Well, I like that that I was able to control my airflow from this G to the D.
Yes, that was very, very nice. Yep.
And going from this F to this A natural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had very good control throughout. I like that very much. And your sound stayed at the forte dynamic even when you were dropping down lower into the range of the flute, which was very, very good. What's 1 thing that you'd like to change?
I guess trying to maintain my airflow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very good. 1 thing that I would like for you is to just try rolling out your head joint a tiny fraction. So put the flute back up, and we're just going to shift it ever so slightly. It'll feel a little bit funny at first, but now just play that first C natural. Did you hear how his sound opened up because he shifted just a little bit? Now the flute sounds a little bit sharp, so we'll pull out the head joint just slightly so we maintain the pitch integrity. All right, try that again. Get back into that same open position. Great. Now, for an experiment, can you use twice as much air and pretend that you're blowing out a candle right over there in that corner? Okay? Yeah. That was easily another dynamic bigger that you got there. Very nice. So I want you to try just a little bit more and see if you can keep that air speed going. Keep that same speed and that same air direction going in just, the first 4 measures. Okay. Again. Really, really nice. Much improved. Now, 1 final thing. See if you can do an ah shape inside your mouth while doing that same fast air and the same open position. So think about saying ah while you're playing the flute.
Like that?
Yeah, yeah. Now keep your lips the same as they were, but just change the inside shape. Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you hear a difference in your sound there? Yeah, that sounds very, very nice. That's a much bigger sound. Now, I'm gonna make you do 1 more thing because you're doing so well. All right, can you imagine a character for this piece?
A character?
A character, yes. I can suggest one if you, a personality. If this piece had to have a personality, can you try giving this piece a personality?
Yeah.
Okay, what personality are you going to try and give this piece?
It'd be more like, it won't be something like too pronounced. It'd be something like soothing.
A soothing personality. Very nice. So now imagine that personality. Mm-hmm. Imagine what sort of color you would use to portray that personality. An actual physical color like light blue or something like that, or something that's a little bit less tangible. I mean, I've thought of everything from the smell of coffee to try and get into a sound, or the feel of stepping into the water, that sort of, all of those are within the realm of what I consider flute tone colors. So try and pick some sort of image, some sort of sensory experience to try and get that soothing character to come across?
It'd be, well, going with color, it'd be probably a green.
Okay, so try and give us the color green when you're playing these opening notes. Okay? Okay, I'm going to give you, let's do that one more time. And remember, while you're giving us the color green, to blow out that candle, okay? Gotta have a forte green, okay? Very nice. Did everybody hear the color in that sound? Very good. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we'd work on something like that, and then if I had, if I was having a student do that etude, we'd move on to their piece, and that piece would probably be something very lyrical, but with a forte sound. And we'd take that little bit and then we'd transfer it to the piece. So we're working between the etude to the piece and back and forth, saying, okay, how can I use this to make my piece better, to make my performance better? And then we talked a little bit about, okay, so it's not just about learning the notes of your piece, it's about learning how to make them expressive, how to make real music with them. And one of the best ways is to try and figure out, okay, what's the story that I'm trying to tell? What's the mood that I'm creating? And we play with our vowel shape inside our mouth. Like we were working with that ah, we change the shape inside of our mouth, but we leave our lips set in our good embouchure position, pretty much. So we have the ah inside of our mouth and the nice firm clown lips pointing in the right direction on the outside. And we use these to create a wide range of colors. I'll just play a little bit for you on some things that you can do to just shape the sound different. I'm going to use lots of different vowel shapes, lots of different dynamics and things like that, just to shape a little phrase for you. So in that little excerpt, I was doing lots of different E's and A's and Ahs, depending on the note. I was varying the vibrato speed. I was varying the dynamics by opening my embouchure set a little bit, adding more air, and pointing the air down, or bringing the air up, making the hole smaller, using my lip to push the air up out of the flute. And we have this whole range of tone colors that's available to us. And so, yes, we learn the notes, yes, we learn how to play things correctly, but we can do all sorts of fun little things to make it more interesting, to pick a color. And yeah, so that's kind of a taste of what you can do during a practice session to make things more interesting and not just about, okay, I have to learn my B-flat scale today because my band director wants me to learn it. To learn how to make music on a B-flat scale, to learn how to make the best sound you can. And when you have the best sound that you can, people will want to listen to you.